If you search for Gerda Bormann online, you'll find stories of a monster. Viral posts describe a sadistic concentration camp guard who documented medical experiments and unleashed a German shepherd on helpless prisoners. But those claims actually describe a different woman, Johanna Bormann. Johanna was a guard at Auschwitz and Bergen-Belsen who was convicted of war crimes and hanged in December 1945. The real Gerda Bormann never worked in a camp and never pulled a trigger. She operated from a comfortable home, drafting policies designed to turn human reproduction into a state-sanctioned breeding program. Viral history collapsed these two women into a single figure because we often struggle to recognize evil when it lacks a uniform. By merging the secretary's wife with the camp guard, the internet created a villain that fits our expectations of Nazi cruelty. Gerda's quiet ideological fanaticism provided the social and legal logic that made the camps possible. Her contribution wasn't a physical act of violence, but a blueprint for a society that viewed human beings as mere biological material. Gerda Buch was born into Nazi royalty. Her father, Walter Buch, chaired the party's Supreme Court, a role dedicated to enforcing ideological purity and deciding internal disputes. She grew up in a household where domestic life was inseparable from politics. Dinner table conversations centered on racial destiny and the necessity of reshaping German society from its foundations. At 19, she married Martin Bormann, an ambitious rising official. Their 1929 wedding cemented her place in the party's inner circle, with Adolf Hitler and Rudolf Hess serving as witnesses. Over the next 14 years, she bore 10 children and received the Cross of Honor of the German Mother. But behind this facade of the model wife, Martin Bormann was a violent husband who openly flaunted his affairs to humiliate her. Having been raised to view the individual as a tool for the state, Gerda prioritized her husband's ability to produce Aryan offspring over her own personal well-being. She viewed her marriage as a biological contract rather than a private relationship. In the early 1940s, Martin Bormann took a young actress named Manja Behrens as a mistress. The relationship was public, further damaging Gerda's standing in the social circles of the Nazi elite. Gerda responded by writing to her husband to encourage the affair. She proposed sharing their household with the mistress and suggested drawing up legal documents to make the woman an official second wife. She turned her own marital arrangement into a policy proposal called Volksnotmarriage, or emergency racial marriage. The proposal aimed to legally entitle pure German men to multiple wives. Gerda drafted the language herself, outlining how women would rotate through pregnancy cycles while the state managed the property and registration of the children. By 1943, catastrophic losses on the Eastern Front meant millions of German women were left without partners. Nazi leadership viewed Gerda's plan as a potential solution to a looming demographic crisis. While the Lebensborn program already encouraged SS officers to father children out of wedlock, Gerda's plan sought to dismantle the institution of the family entirely in favor of a state-sanctioned breeding program. She formally offered her own marriage as the state's official prototype for this new structure. Her proposal illustrates how totalitarianism seeks to reach into the most intimate parts of human life. It reclassified love and marriage as biological assets to be managed by the law. In 1945, as the Reich collapsed, the Allied forces began the work of identifying and prosecuting the perpetrators of the regime's crimes. Johanna Bormann, the camp guard, was captured and faced a British military tribunal. With overwhelming evidence of her physical cruelty, she was hanged for war crimes in December of that year. Allied forces eventually found Gerda Bormann in northern Italy. They interrogated her about her husband's activities, but she was never prosecuted for her role in promoting Nazi racial policy. She died of uterine cancer in March 1946, at 36 years old. Her children were adopted by a Catholic priest, and she never faced a public trial for her ideological contributions to the state. The post-war justice system was designed to punish the visible violence of the executioner, but it lacked a framework to hold the architects of systemic evil accountable for their ideas. The Holocaust required both the guards who pulled the triggers and the ideologists who provided the foundation. One could not have functioned without the other. A true believer doesn't need to witness a single death if they have already accepted a worldview where human bodies are simply the building materials for a state-mandated future. We must look beyond the monsters in uniform. The most dangerous policies are often drafted in comfortable homes by people who believe their actions are serving the greater